now, 2 weeks here in camp?
Things are going good. We're putting a lot on them right now as far as our install, and we want to see who can retain information. And so some of the young guys are swimming a little bit, and which they should be. But yeah, the guys are stepping up, and we're building that team cohesion and trying to get as much team chemistry as possible.
With yourself stepping into the OC role, Brad coming in, Eric coming in, obviously different look for the offensive coaching staff. How has that kind of gelled, and how is it maybe a little different?
Yeah, our coaching staff is awesome. We've got a real good vibe in that room, and the players can feel it too. And that's big. Those guys trust. We trust in our players, and they trust in us. And those two new coaches on our staff have built relationships really quickly, have earned the trust of the guys, and are very knowledgeable. So our offensive staff is phenomenal, and we really enjoy being together and working together.
We're going to talk to Kozar here in a couple minutes. How's he kind of fit in? What have you thought of Montel since he's been here?
Yeah, Montel has been awesome. He is a great fit. Him and Brett work really well together, and he gives us a little bit different, vibe in the room, but also on the field. And he's got a great energy to him. The guys are drawn to him, and even though he's been here for a short period of time, he's taken on even a little bit of that leadership role. So it'll be fun watching him progress, and it's been fun working with him through this fall camp and just seeing his decision-making process. And obviously he can do some things athletically that we're excited about. And the thing that I'm most impressed with, though, is how he handles himself, how quickly he's learned the offense, and how well he fits with our guys.
I know with Tommy and Rathan, you were hoping to have a guy that you could use in short yardage stuff, goal line stuff, and it sounded like you really were going to have some stuff designed to actually use them. He seems to fit that bill. I mean, do you see scenarios where he is going to get some playing time this year?
I think every week we're going to have some different stuff. I mean, Boise offense, we're going to have some things up our sleeve, and we can use a lot of those guys in a lot of different ways, and each week is a little bit different in the defense that we're seeing. So it's nice having more guys we can use.
How different is it connecting with a guy that has played Big 12 games versus bringing in a kid that is coming out of high school, I guess, at that position?
I'm sorry, what more time?
How is it different connecting with a guy that has his type of experience versus another quarterback you might bring in and is coming out of high school, for example?
I don't think it has been any different. He's been really attentive. He's been, very mature. And obviously he has some great experience. And in the meeting room is really where I've been extremely pleased with how quickly he's learned everything. He's a yes sir, no sir type of guy. He listens well, he learns well, and it's been a whole lot of fun.
How has Brett improved? What do you want to see from him this fall that maybe he struggled with or something in the first 2 here at Boise State?
Yeah, the first thing that I've seen with this fall camp with Brett is that he's really feeling the pocket a lot better. And he was going into this off season was pushing to be a little bit more athletic in the pocket, feeling things, creating time. It may not. He's actually taken off on a few runs, here and there too. If things break down and he sees a lane and he's starting to go now, which wasn't really in his mentality, before. So he's really pressed and with all that stuff, and I think our offense, whether it's working a scramble drill or just being able to take off on a 3rd and 4 and go get it himself, I think you're going to see a few of those situations this year.
Can that pocket awareness be taught? Because that was one of the hidden strengths of Kellen Moore,
Sure.
for example. And I think there were some games last year where it was really put in focus. I think Wyoming, especially with Brett and that pocket awareness thing. Was that something that you guys really stressed, or is that something that has to come with playing more? Or?
I think it's all of the above. We're trying to work drills where they're feeling different stunts or different, pocket awarenesses or drop step escape type drills, or where they've got to move in the pocket and create some time. So yes, we're doing that. It comes from those team situations where now the defensive line is rushing you, and now you're seeing it on film. Hey, we could have slid up here, and you're starting to see him do those things and feel it and be able to keep his eyes downfield and still make throws, and again, once in a while take off.
Zach, how's the running back position coming along?
Really good. All those guys in that room are working their butts off, and obviously losing Jeremy. Okay, there's a lot of production, that's lost there. But every year when you lose those guys, there's guys that step up. And those guys were excited this offseason, and put themselves in a position to be successful. Mahone stepped up, and obviously Wolpen he's like I've said, he's always been that trustworthy guy that's going to run hard and kind of outwork guys at times, and having a guy like Alex and some of the young guys, adding Drake to the mix too, and he could be a factor in the future for us as well. But excited with the running back position. Coach Marks has done a very good job getting those guys on point, knowing what to do, being in the right spot, knowing their jobs. And there's been a lot of days where that running back crew has played really, really solid.
Do you think that position will offer the versatility that the previous two guys have played? I mean, Jay and Jeremy are really good at catching the ball in the backfield, blitz pickup, all that stuff. I know these guys are young, but do you think they can offer that type of versatility?
I think so, yeah. Obviously Alex, we're expecting big things from him, and he's got to be that workhorse, and he's got to keep earning it. He's still young, and he still needs to prove himself, and we're not going into the season saying he's got to be the guy. We have a very good crew of running backs, and we can distribute the ball in a lot of different ways to those guys, and we trust a lot of those guys in multiple situations.
Speaking of distributing the ball, the receivers, you lost a lot of catches from last year. How do you see the distribution going this year, and what have you seen of the guys that are trying to step in for, Spurbeck and Anderson?
Yeah, I think one of Brett's qualities is that it doesn't matter who it is. He's going through his progression, and he's gonna find the open guy, and whether that's Sed or whether that's Jake Rowe or whoever it is, he's gonna work his read and try to get easy completions.
Sorry.
Yeah.
As the OC, who are a couple guys so far in 2 weeks of camp that have stood out to you?
Sed, obviously, he's one of those guys that just makes unbelievable plays at any time. He's made a few catches that were eye-popping even for us, and Jake Rowe's been a really, really steady guy and a good route runner, and he's just, again, very knowledgeable, so we can use him in a lot of different ways. And like I said, the running back crew have all contributed, and they all have their different styles, and so we can mix up the running game with different guys.
This time last year, we were talking to a lot of about who are the other receivers that are going to step up, and it ended up being kind of the usual suspects. Some of those other guys maybe didn't get as involved as maybe anticipated. Why is there maybe confidence those guys can step up and be involved more this year than say last year when the Richardsons and the Monsters maybe didn't get a ton of work?
Sure. Well, I think a lot of it goes back just like the running back situation. I mean, they're going into this offseason knowing that they've got to step up. There's going to be more opportunities, and so that creates excitement for those guys to even work harder, and they've come a long ways. A.J. Richardson is very sure-handed and good route runner, and he's going to be fun to watch and see how we use him in different ways. And Modster creates some fun mismatches for us, and then even A.K., Killian Butler, he's done a great job, and he's been a really consistent player for us through fall.
What young guys have stood out so far in fall?
The whole freshman crew is very, very good, and we got a really good group of recruits in that class. Some of Drake Beasley at running back has been really good for us, and you can tell he's going to be a factor for us in the future. A couple of those receivers are really good with CT and Octavius, and even Damon's doing a real good job. The quarterback position, Chase Cord, he's going to be a dude. He's 6'3" and 200 right now, and can run and can throw it, and he's going to be fun to develop, and still a little raw right now, and figuring it out. And again, we're putting a whole lot on him as an offense and as a quarterback, and but he's doing a good job learning and trying to figure it all out. And in each position, our older guys, they take a whole lot of ownership in getting those guys some extra film, or taking them in and talking to them about certain plays, or whether it's watching NFL film. So the mentorship with those older guys makes it a whole lot easier for the freshmen coming in.